Guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Quach Thurston, and I feel privileged to be here today at the opening of this wonderful memorial park here in the neighborhood where I grew up and where my family has so many fond memories. I'm sure that our story is very similar to that many of the Vietnamese family living in Canada today. When I was a young child, our family had a decent life. My parents had a home and a small business in Saigon, near District 1, near the Binton Market. And my uncle owned several steel factories. We were all happy and life was good. Unfortunately, after the fall of Saigon, our lives changed dramatically. Our businesses were seized by the new government and the bank accounts were frozen. We struggled to survive. And the tragedy struck when my father passed away suddenly and my mother was left with 8 children to raise on her own. I remember that when it was thought it couldn't get any worse, soldiers occupied our home and confiscated everything that my family had worked hard to build. We heard horrific stories about other ethnic Chinese families being taken away to be forced labor at farms and re-education camps. The future for our family looked bleak, and we felt we had no other option but to try to get away. I remember in the early hours of morning on November 21st, 1978, with thanks to our uncle, our entire family was able to escape. We were all cramped in a small wooden boat with more than 500 people, young and old. It was frightening. The seas were rough. We had a whole 2 days of rainstorm, but we were lucky enough to avoid the Vietnamese Navy, the pirate ships, and finally reach the coast of Malaysia. I know many others were not so lucky, and we should never forget those who were not so fortunate in their quest for freedom. We were held in a refugee camp in Malaysia for nearly a year before we were finally sponsored to come to Canada on July 19, 1979, 43 years ago this month, by the MCC Church in a small town called Lien, 90 minutes north of Calgary. Like many new immigrants today, we were so grateful to Canada and the wonderful people of this province for welcoming our family with open arms. We still have many challenges to face when we arrive in Canada, having to learn English, adapting to the cold weather. I can tell you firsthand that flip-flops are not great in the snow. Finding work, making new friends, and being accepted in the community. But Canada gave us freedom and the opportunity to build a new life here and to make this our home. And we have done so, and our family has remained united throughout our years in Canada. And I attribute that to one person who held our family together in our darkest days, and that person was my mother. She taught me to never forget who I am and where I have come from. I have great admiration for her courage and her determination to keep our family together and for laying the foundation of the future generation of the Quach family. Sadly, she passed away 16 years ago at the age of 74. I'm here today, along with my siblings and family members, to honor and express our gratitude to our mother, father, grandmother, uncle, and aunt for the sacrifices they made and for everything they did in the face of so many risks and challenges to give our family a chance of a better future. And at this beautiful Freedom Park on this Canada Day, to express our humble thanks to Canada and the city of Calgary for giving us a place to call home. And finally, also to say thank you to the Calgary Vietnamese Canadian Association, the Vietnamese community, and all the sponsors and volunteers for creating this park for all to enjoy. When we first came here, we were labeled FOB, fresh off the boat. But this memorial will always remind us, as Canadians today, to still be proud of our Vietnamese heritage and proud of our journey to freedom. Thank you.